Hello, I haven't done a video in a long while. I have now moved into a new house. We moved here, I think about 2 weeks ago. We've just had the internet put in, so I can now record and upload videos. I got the internet at work, but I thought it's just been so hard to fit in videos, and also I suppose, especially when I'm at work, it feels that I really should be putting my effort into doing my work. So I tend to try not to do videos there. It mixes things up too much. It's nice to have a specific space to do specific things. So I've weighed in twice now at Slimming World, and the first time I weighed in I was 10 stone 10, and last week I was 10 stone 11. So considering the last 6 months, I'm okay with that. So that means I'm 5 pounds out of the top end of my target. My top end of my target is 10 stone 6, and I am last weighed in at 10 stone 11. So 5 pounds out. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is my habits. So now I've got to redo the whole lot of habits again. So I'll say that I am not in a super Slimming World friendly place. The videos I do are going to now be right from scratch again, I'd say. I mean, obviously not super from scratch, because I've already learnt a lot about how to bring myself out of it, but I am comfort eating, and I am eating sugar, and I am like all sorts. This is not out of choice in terms of like I'm not it's not something I want to do, but the food addictions and the binging and the kind of all those processes has kind of had accumulated over the time, and interestingly enough maximised when I kind of got my own house. So it's only been 2 weeks really when it's gone really badly wrong. But I think it's because over the time, the 6 months, I hadn't managed to. The reason I think why I kept the weight off for most of the 6 months was because I didn't really have my own place to eat where I wanted to eat, and it was all very messy, organisation wise. I felt extremely low the last 3 weeks, and I think that was because things are changing, and kind of all of those feelings that I tried not to feel too much while all that stuff was happening kind of comes through. So and I don't want to be too political, but I'm going to have to really, and the fact that Labour didn't get in was hard. I tried to do a lot of support in the environment that I could to help that. Like I tried to support Momentum and all those types of things. Obviously I've had my media studies training when I was younger, so I full well know what the newspapers do and how they do it and why they do it. So none of that kind of, I don't read newspapers, I don't watch news, and that's something I just don't do. If I want to find out what's going on in the world, I have to do a lot of research instead, and kind of because it's hard to get any truth out of things. So I think there was a bit of me, because obviously my situation is that it's hard. Not very hard, I mean nowhere near as hard as it is for people, but the Labour getting in would have made life a lot easier, and also nicer for everybody and much better for my children's future, but that didn't. And so that was a bit of a blow in a way, because obviously so what's also happened is that in order to get this new house, Robin has gone to work at a skip, it's like sorting skips. So it's a good job, and it's 45 hours, but it's long, hard, well, not super long days, but it's hard work for him. And so because obviously we got caught out with the old universal credits, which meant that we weren't entitled to any money. Luckily, the working tax credits still has not in this area been kind of removed, but when we came off housing benefit, we couldn't go back onto it because it's all universal credits now, because we're self-employed. Well, we're not self-employed, but we're employed through the business, but it's classed as self-employed. We weren't entitled to any money, so we had to think of other ways in which to do it. So I'm running the shop by myself now, and my partner is working at the emptying skips. So it means now we have enough money to rent a house, which is gets us back into our own environment again, because it's just not going to be sustainable long term. So I've still got to sell the caravan. I'm trying to see if I can sell it. I was trying to see if I could sell it through a broker, but that didn't quite go to plan, so I'm going to have to do the old Gumtree thing, take some photos and put it on Gumtree. So I think my head state at the moment is better. I feel better after just a couple of weeks being in the house and kind of getting self settled in and having your own space again, and is started to accumulate that I feel a bit better now. The kids just on holiday now, so obviously they'll come to work with me each day. We have a room upstairs that they can chill out and do their thing in. So it's extra hard, but not really, in terms of it's not like something I haven't done before. So we know, like, I know what I'm doing, if you know what I mean, and they're older now, so it's not like they're babies anymore. Obviously my partner now working elsewhere, bit of loneliness in the fact that normally got the opportunity to talk to somebody about the business as you're making the business decisions, but that's not happening so much now. But obviously can chat at the end of the day about a few bits, but I'm not too worried, because I got really aware of what I need to do when I need to do it. So my confidence is up quite a bit, but right now it's a lot of mental reorganisation. I'd got to the point where I was able to really control everything and really have a good grasp of not to kind of give in to the sugars, and really got that locked down. So a bit of my frustration is the fact that I've kind of got to do it all over again. But I kind of know how to do it. I'm all right. I'm on my kind of journey through it. So what I'm going to do is get my notebook out and start writing things, start to formulate plans, the one thing that did retain is my batch cook. So I'm still doing my batch cook, one chili and one curry each week, and I just do it when we run out of the batch. I struggle eating lunches. One of my issues that I have is self-care and putting myself, kind of acting selfishly around my needs. So I've kind of got to do a whole overhaul of eating habits again. But it's okay in terms of, I know it'll happen fine because I've got my own space now, so I can just kind of work my way through it. My trigger points are kind of like I am a one of my things that I struggle with is when I don't feel quite right in the head, I lock down and I don't let things in, and I just kind of clam up. And what part of the trouble of clamming up is I also don't let the self-care in, and I don't want any joy. So I don't want anything, and I don't, I just kind of clam right up. So I have to like coax myself out. So one of the things I'm trying to do at the moment is to eat Slimming World food, and do not berate myself if my ratios are not correct, in terms of I'm trying to make sure that I feed Slimming World, the Slimming World ratio being loads of free and speed food, a smaller amount of healthy extra A and a small amount of healthy extra B, and then an even smaller amount of that's not correct. It's like about, that's pretty much equal, isn't it, in terms of sins? Because your sins are about the 15 mark. So you're supposed to have around 10, but it's like, it's, you're okay. It's not really that big a deal if you have 15. And then you have, it's around the kind of, because we can have 2 healthy extra A's, 2 healthy extra B's. Okay, no, 2 healthy extra A's, 1 healthy extra B, hasn't it now? So yeah, it's basically the little ratio of the pyramid being tiny bit of sins, tiny bit of healthy extra A, healthy extra B, and then mostly free and speed. So that's the ratio. So I'm trying to implement the plenty of free and speed. My alarm went off. It's 7:15. So the kids are coming with me today to go to work with me today. So today I need to leave at around the kind of just before 9 mark. The shop opens up at 9. So I'm going to give them a bit of a lay-in today, because obviously that's their first day off from school. So I'm going to try to I'm just making sure I'm having plenty of speed and free food. I'm trying to make sure that I do not go the deprivation route, and I am bringing in food that I enjoy, and make sure that, because I will not coax myself out if I at all am mean to myself or berating myself or think I'm bad for doing the things. It just does not work with me, and I will not come out. And I've only got £5 to lose, so it's not like I'm not having to do an absolute complete overhaul. I'm just having to just re-coax myself. So I'm making sure that I have bringing in yogurts, so that kind of like there's like the Lidl's skier yogurts. I know they're sins, but obviously it's like a small amount of sins per pot. So I'm trying to maximise those types of things, trying to maximise sort of like bringing more all the fruit back in, because now I've got my own place, I can have my own fruit that I wanted to do. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting plenty of joy that isn't food related. I played around with trying to paint my nails, and trying to kind of do more drawing, and I was thinking about doing some to that, like doing colouring, but often every now and again I go on a kind of spurt of like trying to find Slimming World related colouring pages, because sometimes it's quite nice doing that, but I always struggle. and I found sort of like healthy eating related Slimming World pages, but sometimes healthy eating and diet related colouring pages are not quite Slimming World friendly. They're always a little bit eat healthy and all that sort of stuff, but in reality Slimming World isn't quite just about eating healthy. Obviously it's as a byproduct of being healthy. It's more about changing your brain and making sure you're good to yourself and making sure that you do not do any deprivation and just enjoy. So I was thinking about doing some drawing, making my own colouring pages and taking them to the Slimming World groups. So I thought that's the other thing to do with the Slimming World, is to engage. And obviously I've been going the last 2 weeks. And it's nice to have my Mondays back, because I was not having my Mondays before. One of the benefits of my partner now working at the Skip place is the fact that I do have the whole Monday to myself, because previous that would a day would we spend together, and it's just nice to have a bit of freedom. So going back to engaging with the freedoms I have, keeping positive and trying to maximize the times that I have to keep positive. If I keep positive, the depression does not take hold, and if I focus on looking after myself, I'm less likely to be depressed. So it's just keeping the momentum up and keeping myself calm and not panicking, and keeping doing stuff that boosts my morale rather than depletes it, and keeping doing all the stuff that's needed. There's a lot of stuff obviously to do still with the house, making sure all the stuff's all set up, and bills and all that kind of stuff, and the business and the so there's always something to do. So that's some benefit from that, because I just keep going at it. So the videos that I will now put up are not going to be necessarily always on plan, because I'm now going to go through my processes to try and recreate my habits. So my would be the big focus on habit creating, and it might not necessarily be perfect food because I know it's I've got to focus on, if I focus on the habits and making sure the habits are good and creating good habits, rather than berating myself and telling myself I've not done it well enough, because that is not going to help me one tiny little bit. So I'm just going to create the habits underneath and let them ride it through, so that my choice making capacity is far stronger. So that's what I'm at the moment. I also need to give myself time to recover and heal up and all that sort of stuff from what's all gone on, and there will be a big bit of me that kind of expects it all to happen again. So I've just got to keep calm and just don't panic. So yeah, I'm going to piece this together now, and I'm going to upload it, and then I will I don't know what I'm going to have for breakfast, but I need to. One of the things I'm trying to aim for now in the holidays is to do the more porridge thing. I've got some frozen fruit in the freezer. I've got some frozen raspberries and frozen cherries. So I think porridge is going to be a main contender for breakfast, especially in the holiday times. Going to school has not been breakfasting. I've not been breakfasting in the morning, but those are the types of things that I'd like to rebuild back in. Okay, I'm going to piece together and upload, and then I've got to start getting ready for the day, and I will upload again soon. See you later, bye.